Hello, everybody. What the flick? We are back. We are back after 26, 25 years, depending on how you count, from the movie or TV series, with new episodes of Twin Peaks. I'm William Bibbiani. This is Meredith Placko. And we're very, very thrilled to talk to you about this show. We just did another video where we talked about the original series and movie, if you want to hear us talk about those. But let's just delve right into it. We've been waiting
a long time.
A quarter of a century.
Yeah.
For more Twin Peaks, real fast. Is this at all what you thought it was going to be?
Well, first off, when they did the opening and it's like the old credits and the old music with similar font and color scheme, I was like, oh my God, I'm just transported back. I'm transported back to when I was watching this on Netflix a couple weeks ago.
I had my fantasy for this show. Yeah. My fantasy was that it was going to be the exact same credit sequence, but the bird at the beginning would be dead or missing.
Oh, that would have been nice. Yeah.
And then maybe like the town population had changed and the sign was more decrepit.
We just kind of get waterfalls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just, and it's good, creepy, solid imagery. These are all images that we're familiar with, but it's from different angles, which I think is kind of interesting. We saw that same shot of the waterfall going down to the lake in every opening credits, and now we're looking at it from an entirely new perspective.
Yeah, which I think is key for this show, especially once they kind of start out strong with here's the weird mysticism, here's the weird stuff going on.
You know, we talked about in our retro review that there are a couple of different versions of Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
There's the quirky soap opera that a lot of people enjoy. There is the very challenging, emotionally bombastic and very honest story of trauma. And then there's the mysticism, and boy, did David Lynch want to get back to the mysticism, apparently.
Did. Yeah, I thought he was going to go in a completely new direction. I actually thought maybe Lynch's style had changed over the years, but
not much.
No,
he's still David Lynch.
He will never, because he hasn't done a lot.
Oh, he hasn't made a movie since Inland Empire. In fact, he says he's done with movies.
Right. So. I mean, I'm glad. I'm not complaining.
I love David Lynch.
Yeah, so it's nice to kind of dive back into that world.
And bless him for sticking to his guns and making whatever the hell he wants.
Exactly.
That was kind of my fantasy. I think a lot of people have this image in their head of whatever Twin Peaks is. And again, it could vary.
Yeah.
My personal vision of Twin Peaks is the first season, where it is all about emotional devastation and surreal metaphors as opposed to literal fantasy. Other people will love literal fantasy, other people will love the soap opera. What I hoped for was that this new Twin Peaks would just be whatever the hell he wanted, and that I would hopefully like it. I don't have to like it.
Yeah, it just has to be what he wants.
I'm not entirely sure I like it.
I know.
Though. It's so weird.
Well, and it's interesting too, because I was having this conversation with a friend of mine, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I really like Twin Peaks." And then we're watching the new episodes together, and she's like, I actually don't think I ever watched the original series, because I think for my generation and younger, there's a collective unconscious based on Twin Peaks in pop culture.
Yeah.
So people think they know about it and they have a good memory of it, but they actually don't know what it's like because they don't remember how weird it was.
It was really eye-opening to rewatch the series all over again. We watched like pretty much all of it like this last weekend. I was up till 6 a.m. today. It was real harrowing. But there are things that work. There are things that don't work. And I think the biggest problem wasn't that things didn't always work, but that it seemed like they weren't sticking true to what the series was trying to be.
Yeah.
And even if the series, I don't think this is what we would have gotten if we'd ever had a season 3.
No.
But I'm glad that it's not the network telling him what to do.
Yeah.
And Mark Frost as well. But like, I'm glad that this is just whatever the hell Twin Peaks wants to be, and then we can like it or not.
Exactly.
And we can deal with it.
Yeah.
So let's talk about what we got.
Well, okay. Well, first off, you brought it up in the previous review of the original series. The whole question is who killed Laura Palmer? And now I kind of feel like we have to ask, like, where is Laura Palmer? Because
I guess.
I mean, yeah, or who is Laura Palmer at this point? I mean, we're given a whole lot with, we see Dale's doppelganger out causing chaos.
And since tragically the actor who played Killer Bob is no longer with us, they made Dale look as much like Killer Bob in order to evoke that. His skin tone is different, his hair is different. And it's really funny, actually, even though he's supposed to be really intimidating, watching Kyle MacLachlan, who is not a particularly intimidating presence, play like this cartoon Quentin Tarantino badass.
Villain where he's like offing people left and right. I'm like the whole scene with why am I blanking on Daria? Where he, I think that might have been an episode 2, where he kills Daria.
Oh yeah.
I'm just like, I'm not buying this. I'm just like, you're not punching this girl in her face. You're not like Well, he didn't suffocate her. He
shoots
used
her.
the silence of the pillow. I'm like, this isn't. I'm not done. I'm not.
It's a surreal image, and again, Dale has all of this baggage, but also Kyle MacLachlan as an actor does too. So we've got Dale strutting his stuff.
Yeah.
Trying. It looks like we know that the doors of the Black Lodge open every so often.
Yeah,
so
it seems like he has to go back now.
Yeah. And he's trying not to.
Yeah.
He's trying to find a way to stay out in the mortal world. Okay.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, the real Dale is trying to get out, and he keeps Laura Palmer tells him, "Oh, you can leave now." And then the arm tree pops up.
What?
Okay, so the actor who played the dancing man in the red room didn't come back. There's a lot of drama there. You can look it up if you want. So how do we do this? Well, if you recall, at the end of season 2, he revealed that he wasn't his own character. He was actually Mike's arm, which Mike had cut off.
Yes.
So now we see the evolution of the arm. Well, we can't get the actor back. What do we do? David, what do we do? Let's make an electric tree with a meat head on it.
It was just a talking blob.
I think it was supposed to be meat. I don't know. It looked like tissue to me, but
it kind of looked like a balloon when you fill it with sand.
Sure, I do that all the time.
It kind of looked like that.
Yeah, it looked like some of the sculptures that David Lynch has done, where he'd put food in something, and let the ants carve it out.
I mean, it looked like installation art.
Yeah.
And I have a deep hatred for most installation art.
It really does look like he's in this weird art installation museum the entire way through.
I could see that downtown by my place,
Yeah.
Oh God. But then we learn there's alternate versions of that too. Even the arm has an eviler doppelganger. Apparently. Yeah, because that one's kind of fleshy pink, and then the evil one's like a yellow, orange.
I guess it's kind of hard to say. Here's what I'll say: a lot of people are like, "Oh, Twin Peaks, it never gives you the answers." Twin Peaks gave you pretty much every answer it could, except who killed Laura Palmer, and even then it did eventually.
Yeah.
Every single question on that show, for the most part. They got to it, and they actually thought out the storyline. Even if they made it up as they were going along, they would go back and say, "Oh wait, who shot Dale? Oh, it was Josie. Okay, it was Josie. Okay, cool.
Who shot JR?"
Yeah, most of the mysteries were resolved in some way, shape, or form, and so I don't think it's unreasonable to think maybe we'll get that answer.
No, and I mean it's only the first 2 episodes, and they're setting up a lot. Like already, so we've got an unknown. We don't know his name. The young college kid sitting in the office building watching an empty box.
Yeah.
That. We know Dale comes into that box. It's obviously it connects to another dimension. But then we also see a creepy alien creature that busts out and kills them.
So that's such a weird scene, and it's interesting because again, the show ended on a huge cliffhanger. We still haven't even resolved it. We haven't seen. Again, we're only doing the first 2 episodes. We know the others are currently available. We're doing it week by week because not everyone has seen those, and we haven't watched them either. In all fairness, so maybe they've gotten to it by then. But we still don't even know if Andre survived.
I know.
We still don't. It's crazy. So. Instead, we're introducing this new character in this terminally slow day job where he watches an empty cube and then changes a camera tape and then watches another empty cube. And then they do a classic slasher movie mistake. You don't have sex and you don't take your eyes off the cube. And then I actually thought that the creature that killed them was maybe a continued evolution of the arm. That the arm itself is.
I got the impression it was a woman because I thought I saw breasts.
Maybe
they weren't they were good, but I thought it was a woman with a weird alien head, literally looked like an alien head.
Well, the weird alien head reminded me of the head of a tree.
So at this point, where we are with David Lynch and Twin Peaks, it wouldn't surprise me if suddenly we find out, oh, this isn't weird mysticism or multiple dimensions. This is actually aliens, or maybe aliens from a multiple dimension.
Why not? Well, we had that experience in the original series where the government was looking into aliens, and then they found out that there was actually multiple dimensions that have openings in Twin Peaks specifically. So
but now apparently it also opens in New York.
Why not?
Why not?
Well, we have a mystery figure. This mystery billionaire who is looking into these other dimensions. There's a whole scene about how pray you never have someone in your life like this guy, whoever it is. I think they said the name was Hastings, but maybe they were talking about a different character. I don't know.
No, Phyllis Hastings and then her husband. The husband was the one who got sent to jail.
My bad. Sorry. Okay. Sorry, a little hard to keep track because they're very obtuse.
And there's so many new characters too being introduced.
Oh yeah. Well, we haven't even talked about the new murder. There's a new murder in Buckhorn, South Dakota.
Yes.
Where Matthew Lillard is being accused of murdering this woman he was apparently having an affair with.
Marjorie Green, if I got my name right. No, Ruth Davenport. Ruth Davenport.
Yeah. Cut off her head, put someone else's body underneath it, so it makes you wonder who that was. And it's gross. And it's a good
actually,
bit.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, but then Bob comes in and kills the dude's wife, and I don't know if this is important or not.
I know.
I don't know if we're moving the action to Buckhorn, South Dakota. This is going to be the new Twin Peaks, or what?
The wife seemed to be aware of.
I was under the impression that she had killed this person and that she was framing him.
I thought that too, and I thought she did that because she was having an affair with Alt Dale.
I thought she was having an affair with the lawyer, but maybe that too. I don't know.
She's also having an affair with. She's kind of having an affair with a lot of people. Because that whole scene where like the husband's getting like put into the police car, and she's like, "Oh, but we have company coming over tonight." I'm like, "Really?" Like, and then we kind of see that iteration. I'm like, "Oh, you don't care." But that I will say, the scene of them in jail where they're like confronting each other it was so good.
Matthew Lillard actually is a more accomplished actor than I think a lot of people give him credit for. The trick, though, is when you're introducing a new mystery like this, the original Twin Peaks worked very clearly within a primetime and daytime television soap opera dynamic.
Yes.
And you recognized a lot of the tropes. And indeed, that show could have been anything at any time, often in the same episode. But it worked because there was a certain grounding. You'd seen other TV like this before. David Lynch is so far into the reeds with this one that there's no grounding. The mystery here doesn't have the same impact. No one's responding as emotionally to this as they did to Laura Palmer, so we don't have that same impact. And we're seeing like, oh, this community is weirdly tight knit. We've got these lawyer and the cop and the Fed, and they're all together. They all know each other. They all live in the same community. But I'm not being introduced to them as characters like I was in the original series, and as a result, that might be okay. That might be what he's going for, but I don't have the connection yet.
Well, also, I feel like so many of these characters are playing very flat. They're just, I mean, obviously in the Black Lodge, everyone's a little weird, but like even just seeing like Laura Palmer come back and like the way she moved, the way she acted, it was not the same. Like there's not this emotional undertone and undercurrent, and I felt that way even like until we got to the end of episode 2 with. You see the reintroduction of
James and Shelley
and all them. Like that felt really genuine to me.
They felt like real people.
Yeah.
And I admire filmmakers who approach even their dialogue with a particular style. Whether you're snappy and witty like Preston Sturges, or everyone's super articulate like what's the guy who did The West Wing, whose name escapes me. That guy. He wrote Jobs.
I know who you're talking about, but
Aaron Sorkin.
Do you want to know something?
Totally spaced out.
Guess what? Guess who never watched West Wing? This girl.
Guess who was up till 6 a.m.? This girl. But they all have a different style. David Lynch has a very particular style in which he likes to tell his stories, and his stories are often in no fucking rush.
Nope.
And his characters are just allowed to just sit there and be weird, and that works. But there was more variety in the cast in the original Twin Peaks.
I think, and I say this about American Gods too, I think this show is meant to be binged.
It's probably true.
I think that's why they released everything kind of like all at once, because
it's a deep dive into David Lynch's mind.
Yeah, like if I had the time to watch at least 4 episodes, like the first 4, I think I would have been a lot more equipped to like this show, but I'm not saying I dislike it. I'm not saying I like it. I'm just saying I'm unsure of it.
Well, and honestly, I think that's clearly I think what they want, because if they wanted to just take us back to Twin Peaks, go back to all the characters, they could have done that in Fire Walk with Me too. They didn't do that either.
No,
they had spent half an hour with Chris Isaac. Like, and I like that bit, but it was weird and it was not what we expected at all. And I think oftentimes we expect our storytellers, our filmmakers, our TV producers to be as excited about the same elements as we are, and that's not necessarily the case. You look at someone like Ridley Scott and what he's doing with the Alien franchise right now.
What is he doing?
That's a good question.
I mean, that's what I asked after I saw Covenant.
But the thing is, we watch Covenant, you watch Prometheus, and you realize here's a filmmaker who doesn't give a crap about James Cameron's Aliens. The rest of us do. He's entitled.
He is.
It's his franchise now to do with what he wants, but we don't have that connection, and that can be a huge disconnect. And I think David Lynch is doing whatever the hell he wants with Twin Peaks, and it's going to take us a while to adjust to that and even decide if it's good or not.
Yeah, and I also feel, I mean, for Lynch, who hasn't been doing a lot, it might just take him a little bit to get back into the swing of things, you know?
Maybe.
You know, maybe he's still trying to find his phone, but that's a man who I think he's always worked on a different level. He exists in the Black Lodge, if you ask me.
And you can see in David Lynch's films, there are films that are just completely bizarre, hard to follow even, but can still be brilliant, like say Lost Highway. But when David Lynch marries his particular aesthetic to a storyline or a genre that is, at least in its basic construct, a little bit more accessible, like Twin Peaks and soap operas, The Elephant Man with the Hollywood biopic, or Straight Story with sort of a family
anything
road
but
trip.
Inland Empire.
Basically. Blue Velvet's very much just a crime noir story in its core. Well, it's got voyeurism,
No,
but
but I'm just saying, but I'm like Blue Velvet's one of my favorite films.
Yeah, but like these stories, they work on multiple levels. You can watch it as, here's a genre film that I've seen before, filtered through a very different perspective. Or you can look at it purely from David Lynch's perspective and just see him playing with a genre. He's not playing with a genre here. He's just doing whatever the hell he wants. And bless him. I wish more filmmakers had more opportunities.
And it doesn't mean we have to like it as long as he's doing what he loves, and people will appreciate it.
I'm interested.
Yeah, I'm definitely. I will watch. Well, I mean, yeah, I'll watch more.
I'm interested. I'm excited. There's some fantastic imagery in here, and yeah, I'm digging it so far. I'm very curious to see where it's going to go. I hope we can spend a little bit more time in Twin Peaks.
I know. I miss it. I want to see. I want to go see more.
I was glad that David Lynch was able to get some footage of the Log Lady.
Yeah.
Because sadly, she's one of the actors who is no longer with us, but they were able to find a way to incorporate her before she died. And that made me really, really happy. I'm glad they thought of that. But we haven't. I don't know what Big Ed's up to.
I know.
I don't know.
Where's everyone?
I don't think Donna came back. I hear like.
I don't think either of the Donnas.
I'm one of the weird people who actually prefer Moira Kelly's version of the character from Fire. I think it always felt more like Laura Flynn Boyle was a character who was trying to figure out who she was, and as a result, it felt a little bit of maybe it was difficult for me to ground myself with her.
That's fair.
And I feel like Moira Kelly had a better sense of who Donna was, even in her experimentation.
See, for me, it's the opposite because the previous Donna was, I think, trying to figure herself not just as a character and an actor, but also herself at the time.
Sure.
As a young woman, I could really relate to that.
Absolutely. No, I was watching it again, and there's that whole bit where Donna starts becoming a femme fatale for 2 episodes, and I was kind of
was okay.
I was kind of off put by that, but my wife was just like, she's a teenager. She's trying to figure out who she is as a sexual entity, and I'm like, fair enough. Actually, that was important. me being dense.
Yeah, not everyone can just go full throttle like Laura Palmer.
No, not everyone can, and maybe they shouldn't. No. At least not specifically like Laura Palmer, that poor woman. So we'll be back next week with more Twin Peaks. We know some of you've seen it already, but not everyone has. So we'll be back next week with episodes 3 and 4. Let's hope it stays really weird.